Hello, everyone, and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agmofwebe, reminding our viewers that we are on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. The federal government has released a list of 48 individuals and entities allegedly linked to terrorism financing in Nigeria. The list was published by the Nigerian Sanctions Committee as part of ongoing efforts to curb terrorism-related activities. The disclosure highlights intensified measures by authorities to identify and track persons and organizations suspected of supporting terrorist operations. No fewer than 56 people are feared dead. Let's turn to other stories for you now. No fewer than 56 people are feared dead after an airstrike hits a busy weekly market along the border of Borno State and Yobe State. The strike occurred at Jili Market during peak trading hours, with traders among the casualties and several others injured. Sources say the operation was targeting suspected Boko Haram insurgents but may have missed its intended target, hitting civilians instead. Eyewitnesses report multiple explosions as panic spread across the market, while injured victims were rushed to a hospital in Gaidam. Officials have confirmed the incident, but the military was yet to issue a statement. Many people have been killed following a bandit attack on Bukansau village in Bukuyum local government area of Zamfara State. Police spokesperson, Deputy Superintendent of Police Yazid Abubakar, confirmed the incident, saying the personnel have been deployed, though casualty figures were yet to be confirmed. Reports say over 80 attackers on motorcycles stormed the community, shooting sporadically, killing residents and abducting several others, mostly women. Livestock were also taken. Away from security matters now, the All Progressives Congress APC says members aspiring to contest its 2027 presidential primary will pay 30 million naira and 70 million naira for the expression of interest and nomination forms, respectively. The APC made this known in a two-page document containing the schedule of activities and timetable for the 2027 general election, signed by the party's National Organizing Secretary, Suleiman Argungu. According to the documents, aspirants seeking senatorial seats will pay 3 million naira for the expression of interest form and 17 million naira for the nomination form to appear on the primary election ballot. House of Representatives aspirants will pay 1 million naira for the expression of interest form and 9 million naira for the nomination form. Also, governorship aspirants will pay 10 million naira for the expression of interest form and 40 million naira for the nomination form as the country prepares for the next round of general election. Meanwhile, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has called for the immediate resignation of the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor George Amukbito, over an alleged pro-President Bola Tinubu tweet in 2023. ADC, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, alleged that attempts to erase the digital trail amounted to a dangerous cover-up that undermines the credibility and neutrality of Nigeria's electoral system. Over the past 2 days, the Commission's chairman had faced intense criticism over alleged pro-Tinubu tweets from 2023 linked to his handle. The Nigeria Police has unsealed the People's Democratic Party (PDP) National Secretariat, Wadata Plaza in Abuja, granting access to a faction of the party aligned with the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. The development was confirmed by the factional chairman, Abdurrahman Mohammed, in a statement issued through the National Publicity Secretary, Jungudo Mohammed. According to Mohammed, the unsealing of the Secretariat and its presidential campaign office, Legacy House in Maitama, followed duly issued court orders. In a related development, the Turaki-led People's Democratic Party has accused the Nigeria Police Force of acting in contempt of courts following the unsealing of its National Secretariat in Abuja, describing the development as a partisan move that undermines the rule of law. In a press statement, the party's National Publicity Secretary, Comrade Ini Emembong, said the police facilitated the takeover of the Wadata Plaza headquarters by individuals he described as agents of the federal government and APC apologists masquerading as PDP members despite a pending appeal on the matter. The PDP maintained that the judgment by Justice Abdul Malik, which the police purportedly relied upon in unsealing the premises, is already under appeal. The role of young people in governance continues to take center stage as stakeholders call for increased youth participation in Nigeria's political process. National Vice President of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Umar Lauya, says empowering young people remains critical to the country's development while urging them to take responsibility for shaping Nigeria's leadership. Kabir Hassan reports.
With young people making a significant portion of Nigerians' population, concerns continue to grow over their limited representation in governance. While many youth are active during elections, their presence in leadership and decision-making processes remains relatively low. The Vice President of the National Youth Council of Nigeria says the gap must be addressed to ensure inclusive governance and sustained development.
Youth participation in politics, I think, is a victim for us. We are already in the government. When you look at some states, I think you can see many youths are in the government, but what we are complaining, number I think that we currently have in the government. And thank God we are making our contribution to those government. So by this caution, by inviting youth into government or by youth be into government, I think can change a lot of Nigerian problems. And if youth be in politics, will take over the leadership in a very small time.
We added that beyond awareness, young people must begin to take deliberate steps toward active political engagement.
I spent over 9 years into this system for calling youth to be in the government. So they have to think, they have to go back to their drawing board. They have to rethink, they have to reshape their thinking to know that the person you are going to him, I think is equal, is like you. You have to know you are equal to that task. When you prepare yourself, package yourself, I think you are equal to every tax in this country.
He also called on young Nigerians to embrace unity, responsibility, and active participation, noting that the future of the country depends largely on the decisions young people make today. Kabir Hassan, Global Television News.
Many thanks, Kabir. The Northern Governors' Wives Forum has reaffirmed its commitment to improving the welfare of women, youth, and children across northern Nigeria. Chairperson of the forum and wife of Gombe State's Governor Asma'u Yahaya stated this during a courtesy visit to Zamfara State. Governor Daud Lawal at the government house in Gusau, the state's capital, ahead of the forum's first quarterly meeting in the state. Zarao Nasir has details.
Members of the Northern Governors' Wives Forum were in Zamfara State for their first quarterly meeting of the year. Their first engagement was a courtesy visit to the state governor, Dauda Lawal. The forum, led by its chairperson, Asma'u Yahaya, explained that beyond the meeting, the delegation came with modest support for the people of Zamfara State. She noted that the forum's primary focus is to complement the efforts of their spouses in governance while prioritizing the needs of women, youth, and children across their respective states.
The gathering provided an opportunity to review ongoing activities, assess progress made, and discuss plans for future initiatives aimed at improving the welfare of women, children, and vulnerable groups across the region.
Welcoming the delegation, Governor Dauda Lawal highlighted the importance of collaboration in addressing regional challenges and encouraged the forum to continue providing insights that can inform policy decisions. He also stressed the need to reshape the narrative about northern Nigeria, noting its vast agricultural potential to drive economic growth and ensure food security.
I encourage you from your group to continue to think of the best way that we can contribute for the betterment of the society in our respective state and invariably Nigeria as a whole. You as mothers, you know what it feels to see children out there doing nothing or under certain conditions that they're not supposed to.
The forum later proceeded to a closed-door meeting where members deliberated on key strategic issues affecting the region. Addressing journalists after the meeting, Chairperson Asma'u Yahya said resolutions reached included the continuation of borehole drilling projects to address water supply challenges and the launch of a new initiative in 2020.
After thorough and productive deliberation, the forum adopted the following resolutions. 1. The forum resolved to continue the borehole drilling project in each state as part of efforts to address water challenges and support our communities.
The forum also empowered 100 women in Zamfara State as part of its support initiatives, while pledging to continue addressing the welfare of women, children, and vulnerable groups across the region. Zahra Unasir, Global TV News.
Let's turn to other stories for you now. The United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed has reaffirmed the UN's commitment to supporting peace, recovery, and development in Benue State. Amina Mohammed stated this when she visited the internally displaced persons in Yelwata community. Benue State correspondent Felicity Ndere was there for Global Television.
Yelwata community in Benue State still bears the scars of recent violence that claimed lives and forced hundreds of families from their ancestral homes. The United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed's visit comes amid renewed concerns over insecurity and displacements in parts of the state, with affected residents calling for a safe return to their ancestral homes. She expressed solidarity to the affected families and assessed conditions on ground.
It is the leadership that allows us, while we remember the tragedy, to say never again, that we must go to the next day and try to rebuild our lives in peace. And so, yes, more. Please don't be sorry or apologize for asking for more. It's your right. It's your right as a citizen of this state. So we want to hear more from you, and we want to hear what it is that you need to do.
In Yelwata, the envoy interacted with displaced persons who once again appealed for urgent support and a safe return to their ancestral communities.
In the school, the children are staying on, and again, children are also staying on the sounds to learn. Please, in the UN, I know you are here, we do something over that. We are pleading that anybody who can help the children in school will be grateful.
Our lands are occupied and we need to regain access to them so we can return and farm.
From Yelwata, the UN delegation proceeded to a mega internally displaced persons camp where hundreds of families are currently sheltered. The delegation later proceeded to the government house in Makurdi after touring the camp. Governor Hyacinth Alia described Benue as a frontline food processing state currently facing insecurity and displacement affecting over 500,000 persons.
What we seek is not charity, but collaboration. Not isolation projects, but integrated systems. Not temporary relief, but lasting transformation.
The UN Deputy Secretary General described Benue as a state of strategic importance to Nigerians' food security, economic stability, and social cohesion.
The hope now is that we restore in our communities who have endured so much loss a sense of hope, a sense of peace. And this is how we believe that Benue can begin to show the way forward in a troubled country of conflicts. But if we can find peace here, who knows that maybe this is the torch for peace for the whole region.
Both the United Nations and the Benue State government reaffirmed their commitment to peace building and recovery as displaced Yelwata residents continue to call for safe return and restored livelihoods. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
Oh, thank you so very much, Felicity. You're watching the live broadcasts of the AM News on Global Television. The rest of the news continues after this weather forecast plus business foreign and sports stories for you on the other side of this break. Please don't go away.
You're welcome. Monday is shaping up to be an active day weather-wise across the country as morning thunderstorms are expected in parts of Delta, Edo, Ondo, Ogun, and Lagos State. These storms should gradually spread towards the southeast, including Imo, Enugu, Anambra, and extending also to parts of Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Cross River, and Rivers State, bringing showers and gusty winds. The north central region will also see some activities, with Benue and Kogi staying active. Also parts of Taraba and southern Adamawa will be experiencing scattered storms. For the afternoon and evening period, conditions remain favorable for most storm development. Areas likely to be affected include Taraba, Gombe, Bauchi, most parts of the central region, and the southern half of the country. The extreme northern cities should remain sunny with few patches of cloud. And that's the forecast. I am Akemi Samarda, and thank you for watching.
We deeply appreciate you staying with us here on the AM News. The second part of this broadcast now returns with business, where President Bola Tinubu has directed key economic officials to develop measures to mitigate the impact of the ongoing Middle East crisis on Nigerians amid rising fuel prices. The directive was disclosed in a statement issued by presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga following the president's remarks at a civic reception in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State's capital. The development comes as fuel prices have surged to about 1,350 naira per litre, driven by escalating tensions in the Middle East. Minister of State for Finance Taiwo Oyedele has acknowledged the existence of errors in Nigeria's new tax laws, stating that a finance bill is being proposed to address the identified gaps. Oyedele, who was also chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, made this known while speaking at the 2026 annual conference of the Nigerian Bar Association section on legal practice, according to a post shared on the committee's official X handle. He noted that the reforms are guided by principles of transparency, fairness, and clear policy intent rather than arbitrary enforcement. Lagos State Internal Revenue Service has extended the deadline for filing individual annual income tax returns to April 21, 2026. The agency disclosed this in a statement signed by Monsurat Amasa Oyelude, citing increased demand on its electronic tax filing platform. The extension follows a surge in usage of the IRS e-tax platform after the previous deadline was moved to April 14. Now time to take it to the foreign scene, where Benin Republic is holding its presidential election with voting underway across the country. Finance Minister Romuald Wadgini is widely expected to win, backed by the ruling coalition and outgoing President Patrice Talon. He faces opposition candidate Paul Humpe in a race seen as largely one-sided. Libya's rival Eastern and Western authorities have signed a U.S.-mediated agreement to unify public spending for the first time in over a decade. The deal, described by the central bank as a major step forward in fiscal stability, brings together representatives of the divided administrations in Tripoli and Benghazi. The country has remained split since the 2011 uprising that ousted Muammar Gaddafi, with competing governments backed by Abdulhamid Dibba and military leader Khalifa Haftar. United States Vice President J.D. Vance says talks with Iran have failed to reach an agreement. He said he was leaving Pakistan after putting forward what he described as a final and best offer from the U.S.
The vice president addressed the media after marathon talks in Islamabad, where he also stated that he was heading back to the United States following breakdown of talks between both parties. He said Washington was seeking a fundamental commitment from Iran that it would not develop a nuclear weapon, but he said the U.S. has not received that assurance, even after holding the highest-level meeting between the two sides since the 1979 Islamic Revolution.
We have been at it now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back to the United States having not come to an agreement.
As Vance returns to Washington, he leaves Iranians one last message regarding the United States position.
We leave here, and we leave here with a very simple proposal, a method of understanding that is our final and best offer. We'll see if the Iranians accept it.
The United States and Israel attacked Iran on February 28, sparking retaliation from Tehran that has plunged the Middle East into conflict and the global economy into a tumult. Iran and the U.S. had entered the talks mediated by Pakistan, with Washington piling pressure by saying it had sent mines-whipping ships through the vital Strait of Hormuz maritime routes.
Now time to go get some excitement from the world of sport. Rangers International have rejected charges of breaching league rules following their match against Barao FC in Enugu. The league board fined Rangers 4 million naira and ordered the club to play their next 2 home games behind closed doors over alleged security lapses and fan misconduct. However, the club's general manager, Amobi Ezeoku, described the sanctions as false, exaggerated, and defamatory, insisting the allegations were inaccurate. A major controversy has erupted in Nigeria's sports sector as the Delta State Sports Commission threatens to boycott the 2026 National Sports Festival in Enugu State over allegations of athletes poaching and abuse of office. The commission, led by Honoriode Oborewori, accused the president of Paralympic Committee of Nigeria, Sunday Odebode, of pressuring para-athletes to switch allegiance, claims he denies. In a petition to the National Sports Commission, Delta warned it may withdraw from the games if the matter is not addressed, citing harassment and unethical conduct. And that's all we have for you on the AM News here on Global Television. A quick reminder that you can find us on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Remember that you can also subscribe, engage, and subscribe across all of our social media platforms using our Global TV NG as well as other handles as you now see on your screen. I am Uyag Mofwebe, thanking you for watching. Starting shortly is Global Morning.